What's up guys, it's your boy Dekkster here, and Rise of Shadows came out about a week ago and the meta is still pretty crazy. Not as crazy as those first couple days, but it is still crazy nonetheless, so if you're tight on dust, still be careful crafting anything. But there have been some really cool developments, a lot of cool decks out there that weren't on my previous video. So I'm gonna talk about 7 pretty cool decks that hit high legend. So first up, we got Uber hitting rank 2 legend with his version of Aggro Mech Hunter. This is very different than the other direction people were going with Mech Hunter, which is more like going with whelps, going to more value with 9 lives and stuff like that. This other version has emerged that's very aggressive. It's more bomb oriented. You're running bomb tosses, you're running venomizers to punch through taunts. You got explodinators for those annoying bombs. You have all these magnetics like war gear, Ziliax, missile launcher. So if your opponent doesn't deal with the bombs, you're just going to attach them and slap them for a ton of damage, and then they'll be forced to deal with it at that point. Then it's also running Flark, which floods the board with all these bombs, almost like 8 damage to their face if you could trigger all the bombs. And what Uber did, which is pretty genius here, was he just threw it in Direwolf Alpha. So after you Flark, you can turn all those bombs into 1/2s. So the Flark bombs are more of a threat. But yeah, this list is a ton of fun. Definitely try it out. Once again, it's totally different than that other Mech Hunter that was going around previously. All right, we got Turna hitting top 10 legend with this version of APX's Conjuring, Mage, whatever you want to call it. This list is very, very crazy. It is so sick, the amount of value you can get from this thing. You can have just these huge swing turns. We got Power of Creation in here, which summons 2 random 6-drops. And if you combine that with Khadgar, you just have 4 random 6-drops, which is insane. We also have Caligos, which makes your first spell free. So maybe you go Caligos and you use a really expensive spell, like, I don't know, whatever you discover off of him. Or maybe you just use it with the Power of Creation. The deck is actually named after is Conjurer's Calling. This is a twin spell, and it is just amazing for getting a ton of value. Maybe you value trade with your Rabble Bouncer, and then you just go ahead and Conjurer's Calling it. Or maybe you have a Mountain Giant, and you Conjurer's Calling that. It could give you the extra Mountain Giant, it could give you the Grave Horror, or maybe you're using Conjurer's Calling on your Voodoo doll. And also Conjurer's Calling works with Khadgar as well. Yeah, and then we're also running a Dragon package in here, the Scale Worm, the Drakes, the Scorchers, and since your hand size is going to be so big, we are running the Mountain Giants. And to fend off aggro, we got the Sunfury Protectors in here to kind of put a shields up on your giant, on your Twilight Drakes, stuff like that. But Conjurer's Mage does seem to be very promising. A lot of people have been getting high ranks with this archetype. We got Sezoklo hitting rank 1 legend on NA and almost rank 1 on EU at the same time with this Tempo Rogue list. It's not running anything too fancy. It's not running Nomi, which seems to be cut from most lists. It's not running Togwaggle because he seems, I guess, a bit too slow. But it is running the lackeys, at least the ones you get from the Evil Miscreant. They're just so good. Evil Miscreant is such a good card. It's so annoying for your opponent to deal with. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Tempo Rogue. Plays similar to the old Miracle list from last expansion. That beautiful synergy with the raiding parties, the Dread Corsairs, the Waggle picks. Everything just ties together really nicely. And yeah, I mean, Sezoklo, almost rank 1 on 2 different servers at the same time. And I don't really like recommending lists, but if you are that person who just wants to craft one good list, obviously the meta's unstable, but this is kind of looking like it might be the deck. I mean, everyone's hitting high ranks with Tempo. There's multiple versions, but I decided to highlight this one from Sezoklo because he's consistently getting high ranks with it. We got Theo hitting rank 1 legend with this Control Warrior. This deck is really, really good. You're gonna run into a lot of this on ladder if you haven't already. It's running the Hecklebots in there. It's running the Omega Devastators, the Unseen Saboteurs, and it's running Archivist. So with Archivist, it seems like your goal here is to just grind games out and get those 40-minute games that are just insane. I've had so many times where I play against this deck and the game length is just so high. So if you like those long, grindy control games, this might be the deck for you. But if you don't like playing 30-40 minute games, you might want to try a different deck. But yeah, Archivist is insane here because once you actually do run out of cards, you start going in fatigue. You just play the Archivist, you get 10 more cards in your deck, and then you're good to go. We got the top performing deck on HS Replay, the Zoo Carpet Lock. Oyaa hit rank 3 with this. I think it might be Ant's list, I'm not sure. But my god, Carpet Lock is insane. A ton of 1-drops here because they do synergize with the carpet. And of course you have insane card draw through just tapping, just through your hero power. So you curve out beautifully, throw down that carpet, You keep tapping, keep throwing out those 1-drops, flood the board, throw out some discounted sea giants, and then maybe at some point you just switch it up. You play Reform, you start getting all these random legendaries. Now, your random legendaries could be bad, they could be good, but the fact that you're able to tap and constantly draw more of your legendaries makes it so usually you're gonna find one you do want to play. We got Freddie B hitting top 10 legend with his version of Token Druid. A lot of people have been performing very well with Token Druid, and Freddie B put a lot of interesting cards in his deck. He's running Dendrologists, which weren't run initially. He's running a Microtech controller, which, I mean, it makes 3 minions. He's running Lodi, which a lot of people weren't running. Then he's also got the Eccentric Scribe here, which once it dies, it makes a bunch of scrolls, and those are tokens which you can buff up and hit your opponent with, obviously. But yeah, it seems like Token Druid's probably going to be here to stay. It's just so easy to flood that board. If your opponent deals with it, hit him with a Force Aid. They deal with that, hit him with another aid. They deal with that, you hit him with another. You know, you got four times you could just flood it with the Force Aid. Other than that, you flood the board with Whispering Woods. Maybe you hit it with the Soul of the Forest. If your opponent ever can't deal with your board, hit him with the Roar, hit him with some Power of the Wilds, and you just win. But yeah, Freddie B's list cutting the Crystal Song portals, which did look promising, but sometimes the minions you got were just too bad. So maybe the RNG factor there was just it just made it a cuttable card. All right, so I wanted to include this Shaman deck. A lot of people want a good Shaman deck. A lot of people wanted Murloc to work, and it seems like Eenori finally found a pretty good list here. I unfortunately haven't found anyone hit really high ranks with it aside from this, but this list does look promising. It's running a lot more card draw than the other ones because it's running that Cult Master. It's also got the Murloc Tasty Fin in here, and I know a lot of people weren't running Hagatha because they thought it was too slow. If you got to 8 mana and you hadn't won already, you probably just lost the game. But it seems like Hagatha is good. I mean, you can kind of take a board back, and you do have all these cheap Murlocs which you can throw on the board and make more spells with. So yeah, he went from 3,000 to 15 in 2 days. It does look like his sample size is small here, just 12 and 5. That's a lot of ranks to climb, just winning 12 games and losing 5. But yeah, it's a pretty cool Murloc Shaman deck. So try it out if you do really want to try Murloc. Let me know in the comments what deck you think I missed that should have been on this list. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you like my content. I do stream on Twitch, so follow me there. I hope you guys are enjoying this expansion as much as I am. It feels like no matchup is really too polarized, and that's what I really like. So let's hope for a healthy meta. There's probably going to be a patch in 2 months. At least it's been like that for the past 2 years that I've been playing. So just take that into consideration. Once again, be careful crafting anything. The meta is still very young. So yeah, good luck on ladder. Stay hydrated.